speaking of radio, KROQ out in Los Angeles was this legendary rock station. KROQ in Los Angeles was one of the coolest radio stations ever. I never really got to hear it all that much because I was in New York, and I guess I could have gotten an air check or something, but who has time for that nonsense?
Yeah, you going to listen to that after you get off the air?
But evidently, the guy who masterminded the thing was this guy, Kevin Weatherly.
Yeah.
Brilliant program director. And a lot of program directors are not brilliant. But this guy really just had the touch. He could somehow predict musical trends. He wasn't one of those guys that read the charts and said, they're playing that in Idaho, so I'll bring it to Los Angeles because it's doing well. He was one of those guys that really created the alternative rock format. And when I say alternative, he broke bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers before anybody really knew about them. And he put together this collection of music that I don't think anybody really could have imagined. It took balls to do. If you were the program director of a big radio station in Los Angeles, would you play it safe and just play the hits, even rock hits, or would you try to create something brand new? And Kevin and all the guys at KROQ were real music lovers, and they created something quite special, and Los Angeles fell in love with it, and they were the leaders in this alternative movement. In fact, in New York, I worked for KROQ, which made no sense. Our station was called KROQ. KROQ made sense because they had KROQ. KROQ was KROQ. We had WXRK and we were KROQ. It was stupid. It made no sense, but I think because KROQ was so successful, they called our station KROQ in New York.
Right.
I never really much understood it, but our format came out of KROQ in Los Angeles. And so I bring it up because I'm reading this article about the dismantling of KROQ. They had a morning team called Kevin and Bean. They were quite successful. I think Bean retired. Did I read the other day that Bean might have been living in London now and maybe caught the COVID-19, and he was writing an article about, hey, I hope I have that right. I don't want to scare his family or something, but I think I read that. I'm talking off the top of my head. But Bean, I think, retired, and Kevin kept the show going, and this new guy came in, some new guy. This is the story of radio. Some new guy comes into KROQ. Kevin Weatherly left. Why did Kevin Weatherly leave? Why would they let him go at Viacom? Makes no sense. But they decided, you know what, we're going to cut your salary by 30%. Mind you, this guy is a mastermind, and Viacom says to him, or whoever the hell owned the station at that point, we're going to cut your salary. So he was like, fuck that. He went over to Spotify. I think he's at Spotify now, Kevin Weatherly. And this new guy comes into KROQ, and evidently he is now playing all kind of news shit that, and they got rid of Kevin, who was the morning guy, and I see the morning ratings have already dropped a lot. And I'm following this story, and I'm like, gee, I wonder what's going on there. According to the article, they can't even say KROQ anymore. They have to say KROQ. They don't want to be associated with rock music. And I thought, this is very odd to me. What the fuck is going on in radio?
Who's doing this?
Some guy, I read his name. I don't follow it. I don't even pay attention to terrestrial radio all that much. Yeah.
And Bean does have
Bean retired.
Coronavirus. Yeah.
Oh, Bean does have it? Yeah, I thought I read it. And he was like, gee, I don't know where I'm at with this thing. I might either get it real bad and drop dead, or maybe I'll recover. It's like but I'm having a pretty bad case of it.
And he says he did everything right.
Yeah, he stayed quarantined and all that. Although I talk to people who say they're quarantined, and then you talk to them and
they don't know what they're talking about.
They're not so quarantined. Viacom sold their radio station to Intercom, which is cutting costs and cutting people. So they got rid of our friend Chris Booker. They got rid of Kevin Weatherly, which I was really surprised. If I was them, I would have kept Weatherly. But and Booker too, a loyal guy, and whatever. But they fired this guy Kevin, and now they're ready. But why would they fire the guy Kevin if he had decent ratings?
Everything was working, right?
Yeah. Radio guys confuse the fuck out of me. I've worked for so many bad radio guys. They're in radio, but they don't know what they're doing. Maybe this guy knows what he's doing. I don't know. I'm not on top of it.
Yeah, maybe there's a new trend out there, and he's on it.
Oh, here's a fact. As of 20 hours ago, Bean tweeted he is recovering from coronavirus.